Hello and good morning. It's Gary Champion, Psychic Medium once again. A couple of little things. Peanut the Wonder Dog now weighs 4.2 pounds. I'm concerned he might be bigger than me by the time he gets full grown. I was sitting around, and I've come up with a new, I'm doing psychic business consulting. I have a new page on the website for businesses who want to know what's coming for them. I don't know why I didn't think of that earlier. I advised somebody to do that 20 years ago. They're enjoying that career. For some reason I didn't see it for me. Now it makes sense because I'm always doing business stuff. People call and they want to know all about their business, what it's going to do. Did they hired somebody they're not sure where they're going to work out? Personnel, shipping, product changes, all that stuff. So I'm hoping that works out pretty good. And now on to what you're here for. And there is some thought of maybe next year, the year after, coming out with a psychic weekly newsletter stating predictions that I have. Might just do it with business, might just offer it as something they can purchase weekly or monthly subscription and get all the latest business prediction I have. Starting to decline. Someone's saying starting to decline. I seen it yesterday, and I guess I wrote something down because I just discovered it, and I hollered and told my wife in the other room what it said. I don't remember writing it, which is that's normal around here. And it said, "Swarm of buzzards circling us." Doesn't sound good. It's not my wife and I; it's the nation. I will believe there will be another economic stimulus money. I'm not sure if it's going to be less or more, but it's like it's going to be different in some way. There's going to be a lot of evictions from homes. It's not that far in the future. August, September, October. Where these people are going to go, I don't know. I'm concerned about it because we homeless don't prove anything except we don't know how to take care of our people in some way. This is something that could have easily been seen. I saw it. It's not that hard. Chinese knew it last year. December, January, that's when they knew this was out of control. They didn't tell us until February or March or something. March. And then the doors started slamming. That I remember clearly because I was in Chicago. And I was sitting talking with my wife, and I said, we need to get out of these fairs that we're doing. We have a bunch of fairs lined up around the country that, I give my little class, and then we read people for a couple of days. And she's sort of the booth manager. Anything that needs to be done other than reading, she does. And she can read. And at some point, maybe we'll be out there on the road as the champions or something. We'll get a booth and read together. It should be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to it. I planned for it, so. But I was sitting there and I said, we need to get out of all these contracts to do these things, and people won't mind because it's way early. And we did. And then just that day, everything fell apart. All these convention centers that we do these things in, they shut down. Anyway, predictions are mostly true. The future is not. And that's the problem you get in with giving predictions is, well, that didn't happen. Well, there's no 100% accuracy on predictions. I mean, the future is flexible. It's not fixed. You give your best interpretation of what might happen. Slow down in the economy. Food prices are going to go up. Fuel costs will remain the same for a while, and then they'll sort of spike in September, October, somewhere around in there, and then settle in. Some banks are going to go out of business. They're just going to collapse. Their debt to whatever ratio is, I don't know what that means, but their debt to, they don't have any money on hand. They're over leveraged, someone's saying. Again, I don't know what that means. Some of you probably do. Food pantries will run out of food. People will move into public housing until it's gone. A lot of people are just going to take over homes. A lot of homeless people are just going to go into these homes and declare that no one's using them, and they're going to take them over. Multi-family dwellings will become very popular. You know, people who own a house will rent a room because there's income to be made, and they can afford a little bit. The people who move in there can afford to rent a room. Cost of living's going to go up. Your taxes are going to remain stable for right now, but will resume. Property taxes are going to go up for everybody, unless you live in a slum. Normal housing, because the cities are not getting their revenue from property. Businesses shut down, so they're not getting enough income to keep the basics running. The guys that do the water and power and things like that. So property taxes will go up to cover that. More people will be armed. We're not talking thousands. We're talking 1 million more people will be purchasing arms and ammo and protective gear. Why? Because when housing is at a premium and people are in the street, they're going to want to go someplace, and people fear. And the talk of defunding police, where they don't send real police to neighborhoods that are in trouble, really scares them. They're going to send unarmed negotiators or a psychologist. But what seems to be the problem? So that's going to be a monumental failure at the national level. At the local level, that's probably going to work. In a few towns, that'll prove to be a good idea. But nationwide, it's a no-go. Someone's saying no-go. So the number of people being armed is going to go up. Target practice places will be full. People taking classes on firearms where they don't shoot their feet off, or other things maybe. Fear. More doomsday preppers. People are going to scatter out into the wilderness and put up cabins and hunker down, thinking that the end of the world is coming. It's not. We're safe. We just have this pandemic going on. And for some reason, the other side keeps calling it a pandemic. They don't use COVID-19. They call it a pandemic. And the second wave is due to arrive sometime July, August, somewhere in there. It'll be just as deadly as the first one because it's mutated, as I said months ago. You know, like in March or April or something, I said this thing was going to have 3 different waves. First one's through, the second one July, August, September, and the next one will be like March of next year or something. And they've mutated into other strains. which whatever vaccine they're working on will have no effect at all. And I believe there's a booster shot. They're using the word booster shot, so I love that. That the first one will, the shot will cover that, and then there'll be a booster shot for the second one, and a third. They're saying clearly a third shot, a booster shot to cover that one. The three main, there'll be the three main known viruses, the original and two other. There's going to be a bunch of these, but there's three main ones, the dangerous ones. The other ones are inconsequential. They don't gather steam and run through towns. So all is well. Hope for the best. Prepare for the worst. And the truth is, there's not much you can do about it. When a pandemic is rushing across the world, a million people couldn't do anything. Why? Because it's attacking everybody. I have a feeling the second wave will be a little more selective. I don't know why. It's going to target one particular group rather than anybody. It's like maybe smaller children or something. Why does a virus mutate? They've always done it. Viruses have mutated since the beginning of man, when they were just amoebas, little one-celled animals that squidged around in the water. Viruses have been around a long time, and they always do this. They always mutate to something else. That's the reason we can never get a hang on them. You can't tag them with something that'll kill them. As soon as you figure one thing out, then there's something else. You know, which is why sometimes you get several shots. There's a shot out for flu now that's 3 in 1. That's why. Three main most. This will be similar to that, only they won't give you three at once. They'll give you one for the first one, and then the second one's a boost, and the third one's a booster. And then you'll be pretty safely covered. And I believe they're going to make it universally available at no charge. I don't think they're going to, it'd be minimal. Most places will offer it for nothing, for just self-preservation reasons. We can't let people go wandering around with it. Anti-vaxxers are going to be in ill repute. It's odd words to hear from the other side. Understandably so. They're going to probably stick to their guns. A lot of homeschooling, be a lot of pressure to get their kids vaccinated. And once it starts, then it doesn't really end. You're going to get a vax for this, you got to get one for measles and mumps and rubella and all these other things that they give shots for, that the kids don't have those diseases anymore. Or at least not to the extent that it used to be. Everybody used to get the mumps and measles and chickenpox and all that stuff. Came through the neighborhood. Everybody got it. Schools were decimated, and then you get well, you go back to school. People thought nothing about it. Schools will open late. I don't think they're going to open on time. I think it'll be January, February, somewhere in there before they actually decide to do anything. By then it'll be too late. But the first shot will be out, and that'll make them feel brave. Schools are important, but they're not more important than lives. Smart people will stand down and do online or homeschooling or any number of things. Okay, that's enough stuff for today. Just thought I'd give you a little bit of swarm of buzzards circling us. I don't know if I can title it. No one will watch the video if I title it Swarm of Buzzards, but maybe that's what I'll do. No fear, no regret, no anger. Thanks for watching.